It starts with a tremor you can feel in your bones, Taurus. The kind that doesn't knock pictures off the wall so much as it shifts the foundation a half inch, and suddenly the whole house stands differently. September is not here to keep you comfortable. It is here to move the ground under your feet in ways your body understands before your mind does. To redraw your calendar with a pen that doesn't run. To make you choose structure over performance and truth over optics. For Taurus rising, the month reaches into your core concerns with surgical accuracy. Home and family. Career and reputation. Daily work and health. Creative spark and joy. Money and self-worth. And the partnerships that either water you or wring you out. 2 eclipses split the month into a before and after. Mercury runs combust for almost the entire stretch, turning thoughts bright and volatile. Uranus in Taurus, inside your very name, turns retrograde and tells the revolution to move from the street to your ribcage. Venus, your ruler, changes rooms and turns the volume up on what your heart really wants. If you only keep a few markers in front of you, keep these. The lunar eclipse on September 7th to 8th pulls the lever across your home-career axis. The Sun-Mercury Cazimi on September 13th sparks a clean insight that belongs to your private life. Mars enters your work and health zone that same day and picks up a stack of negotiations. Venus crosses your threshold on September 15th and warms your home from the inside. Mercury moves into your creative 5th on the 15th and stays hot. The Sun follows on the 17th and puts a spotlight on joy and children and the art only you can make. And the solar eclipse on September 21st to 22nd rewrites your daily story with rules you can actually keep. If you listen, you will not have to hurry. If you move when the sky moves, you won't be dragged. September is already stepping toward you. Meet it at the door. From September 3rd to September 30, Mercury is combust, so close to the sun that the mind runs hot, the tongue runs faster than the heart, and small sparks can light dry fields. You'll feel it in 2 different rooms as Mercury changes signs mid-month. From the 3rd to the 14th, combust Mercury crosses Leo, your 4th house, home, family, property, roots, the private world that refuels you when the public world forgets your name. Words at home carry heat. Decisions about living spaces feel urgent. Conversations that should have been gentle come out with edges. At the same time, the sun is there too, and both look straight across at Rahu, the North Node in Aquarius, your 10th house of career and public standing. Private choices echo in public halls. Family talk vibrates through your work voice. Something you say at the dinner table changes your posture in the meeting. Something decided in the office shifts the weather in your kitchen. This is not a reason to hide. It's a reason to go slow. Draft family messages and sleep on them. If you're negotiating a move, a rent, a repair, a roommate boundary, put it in writing and shave the heat off your tone. When you speak at work, let your future self read the email first and ask, if this is forwarded to the wrong person, am I still proud? Early September is not a good time to let a burst of emotion steer the car. It's a perfect time to let clarity do it. On September 15th, Mercury slides into Virgo and the entire sensation shifts. Still combust, yes, but now exalted, precise, quick without being sloppy, devoted to order that breathes. Virgo is your 5th house, creativity, children, romance, self-expression, the joy that keeps you alive even when the world confuses production with worth. Here the heat is a power source when you aim it. Ideas arrive like birds you could almost catch with your hands. You can write, design, rehearse, outline, pitch with unusual focus, but you must pace your mouth and your thumbs. Across the sky sits Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces, your 11th house of friends, teams, communities, and the long-view future. Every creative or romantic move you make after the 15th faces a twin demand: responsibility to your wider circle and compassion enough to carry ambiguity. Speak clearly and kindly. Promise only what your calendar can hold without bruising your sleep. Show the bones. Agree the next step. Keep it short. If you're dating, say what you want in plain language. If you're co-creating, name the roles, the deadlines, and what you'll do when life inevitably happens. Combust Mercury will tempt you to over-explain. Don't. One paragraph, one ask, one date, one deliverable. Now the jolt that marks this month as yours. On September 6th, Uranus turns retrograde in Taurus. Your first house, your body, your face, your name, the way you enter a room, and how the room enters you. When Uranus is direct, surprises hit from the outside. When Uranus turns retrograde, the surprise is that you're the one holding the lever. This is not random chaos. This is structural honesty. You stand in the frame of your life and say, without apology, this part of me is true. This part is not, and this part needs an update. Think of habits as wiring. If the circuit keeps tripping, you don't push harder, you rewire. That's the assignment. Change small things that control big things. The hour you wake and what greets you. The first 10 minutes of your workday. Where your phone sleeps. What food counts as kindness. Which apps get to touch your nervous system. Which shoes you put on when you need to walk off a mood. Expect months of private upgrades to your routines and your self-image. Saturn and Neptune, retrograde in your 11th, will back you if you pick reality over performance, patience over applause. If a group expects the old you out of habit, that's their story. Your job is to be candid about who you are becoming and set daily systems that match it. Then the blade of light, September 7th into the 8th, the lunar eclipse splits your 4th-10th axis. Sun and combust Mercury and Leo in your home zone, facing the moon with Rahu, in Aquarius in your career zone. In normal language, the spotlight cuts between private base and public role. You may feel pressure to choose. You may be called out to a stage you weren't planning on. A family truth might ring loud enough to change your next move at work. Because Mercury is combust in that very room, words and documents matter. Be spare with public statements. Keep family matters in the family. If a missing boundary has been haunting the house or the office, this is the night it stops hiding. Do not rush into a fix-everything frenzy at 2 a.m. Choose one promise to your home life you will keep no matter what title you carry, and one professional boundary you will keep no matter how loud the applause gets. Wednesday dinner is ours. Phone off. No emails after 8 p.m. The guest room is for guests, not work overflow. If scope expands, budget expands. The eclipse pulls masks off. Believe what you see. If a client, boss, or platform reveals values that scrape your bones the wrong way, write it down and act accordingly. If a family pattern repeats that chokes your breath, set a new rule that gives you back your air. You're not choosing home or career. You're choosing a structure in which both can breathe, and neither has to steal oxygen from the other. 5 days later, September 13th, 2 moments snap the timeline. First, the Sun and Mercury meet. Cazimi, the mind and the light crossing wires and turning on a bulb you can't unsee. For you, this flashes in the 4th house. Kitchen table clarity. The move, the repair, the renovation plan, the boundary with family, the schedule that needs a quiet room built into it. Suddenly, the answer is simple. Capture it. One note, one voice memo. Don't litigate it to death. Name it. Then, the same day, Mars enters Libra, your 6th house of work, health, daily routines, and service. This is a pivot you will feel in your heart rate. Mars pours energy into the part of your chart that controls stress and sustainability. Directed well, you overhaul processes, clear queues, renegotiate workloads, and reclaim your time. Directed poorly, you snipe, rush, and get nicked by sharp corners. Keep it measured. Here's what I can commit to by Friday. Here's what needs a new timeline. If scope changes, budget changes. I can help within these hours. Mars will square Pluto retrograde in Capricorn in your ninth house of belief and long-range truth, and it will keep grazing Uranus retrograde in your first house. Your daily choices at work will press on your worldview and your identity. If a task asks you to act against your values, you'll feel grit on your teeth. Don't swallow it. Adjust the agreement or walk. Guard your body in motion. Mars with Uranus is accident-prone when rushed. Slow your feet on wet floors. Choose shoes that love your ankles. Breathe before you lift. September 15th brings a double warm current. Venus, your ruler, walks into Leo, your fourth house, and lights your hearth. Home wants to become power source, not storage unit for what's left of you after you give everyone else your day. You'll feel the urge to make beauty that you live inside. Fresh sheets, warm light, music in the kitchen, a meal whose smell is a memory you get to keep. The same day, Mercury slides into Virgo, your fifth house, still combust, but now razor clean. The brain wants to play and make and speak love in ways that feel true. Still. Across from this, Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces ask you not to forget your people and your long-view responsibilities, while Rahu in Aquarius keeps tugging your public role forward. The tension is obvious. The world wants a piece of you right when your inner life wants you back. Choose warmth over optics. Make home the power station that charges every performance. And if you're creating or dating, enact at least one act of craft or love that no one sees. It keeps you honest and paradoxically makes your public work better. September 17th, the Sun steps into Virgo and joins Mercury in your fifth. The spotlight swings from house to heart, from walls to voice, from roof to flame. Children, if you have them, projects that feel alive in your hands, stages that don't require a ticket, rooms where your joy is allowed to be as unpractical as it is necessary. Across the sky, Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces keep asking whether what you're making serves the future and honors your circle. This is not a month to chase applause. This is a month to commit to work that holds up when the room is empty. Then the second blade. September 21st into the 22nd, the solar eclipse lands in Virgo with the Sun, Moon, and Mercury shoulder to shoulder in your fifth, facing Saturn and Neptune retrograde in your 11th. If the lunar eclipse was the reveal, this one is the install. It doesn't care about your speeches, it cares about your defaults. If you parent, this can be a rhythm with your children that both of you can actually live inside. If you create, this can be a schedule and a standard that protect your craft from your calendar. If you've been performing a part that keeps earning you attention but bankrupts your joy, this is where you stop. The move is simple and it will feel almost embarrassingly small. That's how you know it's right. Delete one fun task that secretly drains the delight out of you. Choose one rule for your creative life you will keep even on your worst day. Set one boundary around your time with kids or your time with your heart that makes you reliable to yourself. No phone the first hour I write. 1 hour of play without screens after dinner. Fridays are for drafts, not meetings. No speeches. Defaults. Virgo loves a default. So does Taurus. Let this eclipse install them. All month, the moon handles your mood like tide. When the moon moves through Taurus around September 12th, 14, you steady. Money talks settle. Self-worth stops needing a witness. Food turns back into fuel. Touch grounds you. The next right habit is obvious. Use that window to set at least one practical habit you will not abandon when the light gets harsh. Prep what future you will thank you for. Label the jars. Put the key in the bowl you'll actually use. Clear one corner you see every morning. When the moon runs through Scorpio around September 26th to 28th, the emotional barometer drops heavy in the relationship zone. Don't write a permanent story after 10 p.m. Don't do the State of the Union at 11. Put your hands in warm water, step on grass, breathe into your back, sleep, and say the one true sentence in the morning when the edges are softer, but the truth has not moved. From September 20th to 23rd, the moon is combust, too close to the sun for clean signals, and your 5th, 6th houses glow with glare. Lower inputs, make fewer choices. If you must present, deliver a draft and buy yourself a day. Watch the not days, September 10th, 19th, 29th, when water flips to fire and feelings want to become action in one step. Tie your shoes first. One action, one sentence, not 10. Jupiter moves quietly, but helpfully through Gemini, lighting your 2nd house of money and voice and worth. Less a trumpet, more a steady bass note. On September 30th, when the moon in Sagittarius faces Jupiter in Gemini across the sky, and Mercury has finally cleared combustion, shared resources and your own earnings line up clean. If you need to sign, send, or speak in a way that touches both your money and your values, that day has a click to it. Early in the month, Venus in Cancer in your 3rd faces Pluto retrograde in Capricorn in your 9th and asks for truth in speech, not performance in prose. If a message feels manipulative in your mouth, it's wrong, no matter how pretty it sounds. After the 15th, Venus in Leo faces Rahu in Aquarius. Home warmth versus public optics. Choose warmth. Watch how your public life improves when your home is honest. Mars in Libra will keep testing your agreements against Pluto's big truths and Uranus's sharp edges. You will be tempted to hustle because the calendar screams, resist. Agreements over adrenaline. Written scope, fair timelines, rates that match reality. Boundaries that start with I can rather than I can't. If someone tries to yank you into their fire, lower your voice and move toward facts. If you feel your blood spike, walk around the block and let your feet say what your mouth shouldn't. Now see it in scenes so it sticks. It's September 3rd. You're halfway through a text about a boundary at home and your thumbs outrun your heart. You stop, save as draft. In the morning, you say the same thing in half the words and none of the shrapnel. It lands. September 6. You move your phone to another room at night and set a dull little autosave that would bore a gambler. 4 weeks later, you're rested and your account isn't bleeding. September 7th to 8th, the lunar eclipse pulls on your home career rope. The inbox lights up while dinner is on the stove. You pause and choose one promise to home and one to work you will not break. You keep them, and the month tilts toward sanity. September 13th. Cazimi in your 4th gives you the missing piece to a house decision. You voice note it and do not argue with anyone about it until the sun is on a different wall. Mars into Libra turns a simmering work thing into a negotiation. You say, here are 2 options that keep this sustainable, and your body floods with relief. September 15th, Venus brings warmth to your floorboards and Mercury brings precision to your art. You put flowers where your eyes land first thing. You outline the project and stop at a good stopping point. September 17th, you pick 3 tiny fixes for your joy. You finish one. The day feels different because it is. September 21st to 22nd, the solar eclipse. You do not perform transformation, you install it. 1 drain deleted, 1 rule chosen, 1 boundary set. You tape the card where you'll see it when you're tired. September 26th to 28th. Feelings get big in Scorpio. You do not sign your name to midnight stories. You sleep and say the true thing kindly tomorrow. September 30th. Mercury is clear. The moon and Jupiter nod. You send and sign and shut the laptop, and your bed holds you like it was waiting. People will shift in the doorway of this month. Rahu in Aquarius tugs your career forward, offering rooms you haven't stood in yet. Ketu in Leo helps you lay down a family script or a private story about how home must look that isn't yours to carry anymore. Some will cheer your new boundaries. Some will pout because the old access is gone. Believe the behavior. If a friend insists on the older version of you, that doesn't make them wicked. It makes them incompatible with the distance you're traveling. If a mentor shows up quietly with practical help, take it. If a boss reveals a value that crosses your line, stop taking notes and start taking steps. Venus in Leo softens family rooms. Use it to host the ones who feed you. Mars in Libra sharpens workrooms. Use it to turn complaints into terms. Saturn in Pisces points to the groups that can hold you. Choose substance over noise. Neptune in Pisces reminds you to leave room for wonder. Water, music, sky, because awe relaxes the muscle nothing else can reach. Money and body are the Taurus core, and September respects that. Jupiter supports your voice when you price fairly and speak simply. Uranus retrograde in Taurus invites you to rewire how you treat your body and your value without declaring war on yourself. The strongest money move is boring and unbreakable. One autosave, one rate that matches scope, one no to free labor, unless it's truly a gift you choose to give. The best body move is gentler still. Guard sleep like revenue, eat in ways that calm the nervous system, stretch before you lift, walk more than you doom scroll, choose the chair that doesn't hurt you because pain is a tax disguised as furniture. On Moon and Taurus days, do the money talks and set the habits. On Moon and Scorpio days, let the body lead. Less input, more care, no verdicts at midnight. By the last day of the month, you'll hear it. The static drops. Mercury steps out of the sun's scorch and your words stop sizzling and start landing. The moon and Jupiter face each other, and the numbers and the feelings shake hands. The conversation you've been postponing becomes clean. The note you wrote mid-month becomes a thing you can hold. The home decision that kept circling lands like a key in a lock. The work boundary you set on the 13th turns into respect you didn't have to beg for. Nothing flashy happened inside you, and everything changed. Your rules got kinder and firmer. Your schedule began to resemble your values. Your body received more of what it needed. Your voice sounded like you again. That's the Taurus win. Quiet, strong, real. So hear this without sugar. September isn't asking you to impersonate another sign. It's asking you to be Taurus without the static, steady, loyal to what's real, unwilling to sell your peace for a headline. The lunar eclipse shows you exactly where your public stance and private life need a cleaner border. The solar eclipse writes a new script for your joy and the dailiness that protects it. Mercury's heat makes your words bright if you cool your tone and cut the extra. Uranus retrograde in your sign lets you change from the inside without a war with yourself. Venus warms your base. Mars teaches you to work smarter and ask for fair terms. Saturn keeps you honest about the communities you serve. Neptune keeps you soft enough to remain human in a month that rewards steel. And you, patient, grounded, stubborn in the best way, turn all of that sky into choices you can live with. When the calendar turns, you won't feel reset. You'll feel revealed. The life that fits will have more room to breathe. And if you're still here with me at the end of this reckoning, if the click you felt was as real as it sounded, subscribe and stay close. Like the video, share your September in the comments, and bring your steady presence back for the next chapter. September doesn't end, Taurus. It detonates into October.